Every gardener today feels it. The hose comes out more often, the soil dries faster, and even well-cared-for plants struggle through heat that seems harsher every year. Yet here's the uncomfortable truth most people never talk about. For thousands of years, farmers grew reliable harvests in brutal drought conditions without drip irrigation, timers, or constant watering. They didn't fight drought. They designed their gardens so drought barely mattered. And that ancient drought trick is exactly what modern gardeners forgot. This is not about watering less and hoping for the best. It's about rebuilding the way your garden holds water, moves water, and teaches roots how to survive when water disappears. Once you understand this, your garden changes permanently. Soil was the first line of defense against drought. Ancient gardeners never treated soil as dirt. They treated it as storage. Loose, living soil was their water tank. Instead of compacted ground that sheds rain like concrete, they built soil that absorbed every drop and refused to let it go. Organic matter was the foundation. Decayed plant material, composted residues, leaf litter and fine-textured minerals were worked into the soil year after year. This created a crumbly structure filled with microscopic air pockets that behaved like a sponge. Rain didn't run off. It soaked deep, where evaporation couldn't reach it. Modern gardeners can, recreate this exact system by focusing less on fertilizers and more on structure. Compost worked into the top layers, followed by continuous organic inputs, really transforms both sandy and clay soils into moisture-holding reservoirs. Over time, the soil just stops drying out after a single hot day and starts carrying crops through entire dry spells without, panic watering. Mulch was never optional. It was survival. If there was one non-negotiable rule in ancient drought-prone gardens, it was that bare soil equals failure. Mulch wasn't decoration. It was, quite simply, armor. Thick layers of plant material covered the soil surface to block sun-slow wind and trap moisture underneath. Straw, dried grasses, leaves and crop residues formed an insulating blanket that kept soil temperatures stable, even during extreme heat. This dramatically reduced evaporation and protected beneficial microbes that help roots access water. Today, many gardeners mulch thinly or, skip it altogether, then wonder why they're watering daily. A proper mulch layer should be thick enough that you cannot see soil beneath it. When applied correctly, mulch can reduce water loss by more than half, while keeping roots cooler and healthier. Once you experience soil that stays damp days after watering, you realize mulch isn't optional. It's honestly the single easiest drought tool ever invented. Water was guided, not sprayed everywhere. Ancient farmers never relied on flat ground. They shaped land to capture water and hold it exactly where plants needed it. Small basins around trees, shallow depressions in beds, and gentle slopes directed rainfall toward roots instead of letting it escape. Terraces slowed runoff. Swales collected water and allowed it to sink deep. Even slight contours made a measurable difference in how long moisture stayed available. Modern gardeners often fight gravity instead of using it. redirecting roof runoff, shaping beds along natural slopes, and creating shallow collection zones around perennials turns every rainfall into deep irrigation. Instead of losing water to runoff, you store it underground, where plants can access it weeks later. This one shift alone can cut supplemental watering dramatically, especially in gardens exposed to sudden downpours, followed by long dry periods. Deep roots were trained, not accidental. Ancient crops didn't survive drought by luck, you know. They were trained from the very beginning to grow downward. Overwatering was avoided. Seeds were planted to coincide with natural moisture cycles, and irrigation was used sparingly, only when plants truly needed it. This, in turn, forced roots to chase water deeper into the soil, rather than just spreading shallowly across the surface. Deep-rooted plants acted much like natural wells, pulling moisture from layers untouched by heat. When paired with shallow-rooted crops, they created a kind of layered system where water was accessed efficiently at multiple depths. Modern gardeners can, you know, replicate this by watering deeply but infrequently. When you soak soil thoroughly and then allow it to dry slightly before watering again, roots respond by growing downward. Over time, plants become dramatically more drought-resistant, less stressed, and more productive with, well, less water. Plants were arranged to protect each other. Ancient gardens were not neat rows of identical crops. They were living systems designed to shade soil and share moisture. Tall plants shielded shorter ones from harsh sun. Broad leaves reduced evaporation beneath them. Low ground covers sealed moisture into the soil surface. This natural layering created cooler microclimates where water lasted longer and roots experienced less stress. You know, companion planting wasn't about tradition. No, it was really about physics. Shade actually reduces evaporation. Diverse root systems, well, they improve soil structure. And different growth habits, they maximize space while minimizing water loss. When modern gardeners observe plant height, leaf density and growth timing, they can recreate this effect intentionally. The result is a garden that feels cooler, stays moist longer, and honestly produces better under pressure. Small soil additions made massive differences. Ancient farmers understood something, you know, that modern gardening often overlooks. Tiny changes in soil composition can completely change how water behaves underground. Finely chopped organic residues, compost, and mineral-rich materials increased porosity and water retention. Charred plant material acted like a sponge, absorbing rainfall and releasing it slowly. Even small additions, applied consistently, transformed poor soils into drought-resilient, growing environments. If you want a simple, effective, modern adaptation, mix 1 gallon of finished compost into every square foot of planting area at the start of the season. For extra water retention, blend in 1 cup of crushed charcoal per square foot, fully charged by soaking it overnight in 5 gallons of water mixed with 1 cup of compost tea. This exact ratio allows the charcoal to absorb nutrients and moisture before entering the soil, where it slowly releases both to plant roots. This is not fertilizer, it's long-term water insurance. Ancient gardeners didn't plant randomly, you know. They watched weather patterns closely and worked with them. Seeds were sown just before expected rains. Watering was focused on critical growth stages like germination and flowering, not constant maintenance. This avoided shallow root development and soil compaction while maximizing the impact of natural moisture. Modern gardeners who adopt this mindset stop reacting and start anticipating. By aligning planting schedules and watering habits with weather cycles, you reduce water use while improving plant strength and resilience. You know, when everything works together, drought just stops being scary. The true ancient drought trick was never a single method, not at all. It was the system. Mulched soil that absorbs water deeply, land shaped to collect rainfall, plants trained to root downward, crops arranged to shade and protect each other, and of course, organic matter constantly rebuilding soil structure. Together, these elements created gardens that thrived under conditions that would destroy modern plots. Water stayed in the soil, fertility increased naturally, labour decreased, and, well, yields remained stable even during extended dry periods. This is not nostalgia, it's survival gardening. Why this knowledge matters more than ever. Heat waves are intensifying, water restrictions are becoming common, gardening the old way is becoming unsustainable. Ancient drought strategies offer something, well, that modern solutions simply cannot. Independence, resilience, stability. By rebuilding your garden around these principles, you're not just saving water, you're creating a system that works with nature instead of, constantly fighting it. One that produces food reliably even when conditions turn hostile. If you want your garden to survive the future, you really do need wisdom from the past. If this guide helped you see drought a bit differently, make sure to subscribe to Crop Corner for more practical, real-world gardening strategies that actually work. Share this with fellow gardeners who are perhaps tired of fighting their soil and watering non-stop. Together, we can bring these forgotten techniques back where they belong, right into modern gardens.